Hello, thank you everyone who is here now. I'm just gonna wait a few more minutes to give people some time to, a few more people to join and everyone to get set up. Thanks. All right, we'll wait just one more minute and then go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for your patience. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for attending today's online information session for AHEC Scholars. So how this will go is first I will give a short presentation discussing the program, giving you more details about our requirements and what we're looking for in our students. And then after the presentation, we have a panel of 3 current AHEC scholars who are going to discuss their experience in the program, and we'll end with questions and answers. Questions directed either at our student panel or for myself or any other AHEC staff that we have on the call. I think we have time though to do a short round of introductions before the presentation. So I can start, and then people would just like to follow no certain order. I know that can be sort of a touch and go and multiple people start at once. So yay, gotta love these online meetings. Hello, my name is Jennifer Guin. I work in the West Central region of Missouri, which is mostly Kansas City area. And I work just with AHEC Scholars, so overseeing this wonderful program in our region. So thanks again, and please feel free to introduce yourself, name, if you work for Missouri AHEC, what region you're from, what you do, or if you're a student, what school you're with, and what program that you're in.
I'm Dr. Susan Dollar. I'm a professor of social work at Missouri State University, and I'm on the board of the Southwest AHEC.
Thank you, Dr. Dollar.
I'll go ahead really fast. I'm Paula Overfelt. I'm the director at Northwest Missouri AHEC in St. Joseph. Thank you, Amber, for participating with us.
You go next. I'm Susan Bowles. I'm the Health Careers Coordinator at Midmo AHEC in Rolla. We cover 23 counties in mid-Missouri. And I work with the high school programming and with the scholars.
I can go next. This is Savannah Luft from Northwest Missouri AHEC. I work with Paula and Amber, and my job is the health professions coordinator. So I work with scholars, and then I also do some of our high school programming as well.
I'm Elizabeth Buzan, and I am at the ATSU AHEC Program Office, and I am the AHEC Scholars Program Manager.
Hi, I'm Sharita, and I'm the Health Career Coordinator for ECMO.
Hi, I'm Janice Newman. I'm with Northwest Missouri AHEC, and I'm the Clinical Training Coordinator. I coordinate all of the med students' rotations.
Hi, my name is Megan Blakemore. I am the Program Director for the Stevens College PA program.
I'm Amber. I'm a student in the AHEC Scholars program at Northwest Missouri.
I am Stephen Tran. I'm a second-year PT student at Rockhurst.
Hello guys, my name is Brianna. I was actually a AHEC student in middle school, high school, and then I rejoined as an AHEC scholar. I'm currently a Psych MP student in my second something year at UMKC.
Thank you all so much for taking the time to introduce yourself. Is there anyone else that would like to go? If not, I can go ahead and begin our presentation. Okay. AHEC Scholars, that's why we're all here. So what is this program? It is a national program for health profession students to supplement their education by gaining additional knowledge and experience in rural and underserved settings. So it's a 2-year longitudinal program with interdisciplinary curricula implemented with a defined set of clinical, didactic, and community-based activities. I'll get into more of what the specifics are for those curricula later. Oh, it looks like I have timings on. Forgive me. So, like I said, it's a national network here. You can see that we are all throughout the country. There's AHEC offices all over the United States. And in Missouri, we have seven different regions. So in AHEC Scholars, there are 6 core topics that we focus on, being interprofessional education, behavioral health and integration, also oral health integration, social determinants of health, cultural competency, practice transformation, and current and emerging health issues. So each cohort is an interdisciplinary cohort. Like we said, it's for all health profession students. So it's from nursing to medical, dental, pharmacy, social work, therapies, allied health professions, and many more. We are looking for students that have an interest in serving in rural or underserved areas. And in order to apply, you need to currently be enrolled in a health profession program, and you need to be 2 years away from degree completion. Since our program is a 2-year program, and we want students completing the program as they are completing their health professions program. So be 2 years away from graduation or program completion is what we're looking for. Sometimes that can get confusing, so please feel free to ask questions. So in our 2-year program, we ask that students complete 40 hours of didactic work and then 40 hours of, no, sorry, that should be 80 total. So over the course of the 2 years, they will complete 80 hours of didactic online work and then 80 hours of community-based experiential work. So it's 40 hours of each per year. We don't have required classes. We offer multiple activities throughout the year in order to complete those experiential requirements. All of the didactic requirements are done online on Canvas. We try to make that as straightforward and easy as possible. Why join AHEC Scholars? Well, we've offered many benefits, real-world community-based experiences from those activities that we offer throughout the year. Since it's a national program, you can network with students all over the country, especially here in the state of Missouri. We will help you with resume writing, interviewing skills, job placement, even finding clinical placement as well, clinicals and rotations. We offer various stipends throughout the year for the activities that we do. And I want to mention that this is a completely free, no cost to you program. We also offer national certifications from Mental Health First Aid, the National Class Standards, and the Institute for Health Improvement. Again, all of these at no cost to you, the student. So to apply for AHEC Scholars, you can go to our website, and it's an online form to complete. Fill out all of the forms there online, and then also submit a current resume. That's what we're looking for by August 31st. So as I said, we have 7 different regions in the state of Missouri. And on the application, it will be asking what region you're applying for. If you don't know, that's okay, but here's a quick reference map to give you an idea. And then also the contacts for each of the regions. So if you have any specific questions for your region, feel free to reach out to those listed here. So thank you for listening to the quick program. Now we can move on to our AHEC Scholars panel. First, I would like to introduce Stephen Tran. I will stop sharing my screen. And I'd like to let Stephen tell us about his experience in the program and what it's been like for him.
Hey, everybody. So I guess I first heard about the program from a friend of mine at UMKC's dental program. She was in a year before me, and just kind of talking about all the experiences that she was able to go on and all the kind of resources that she was put into connection with. It really seemed like something that would be able to impact me and kind of help me, I guess, kind of round myself out as a future clinician. My year came around to where I could apply, and from there, I've loved it. I've been able to meet a lot of different people that I can collaborate with interprofessionally and impact a lot of different people in a good way. I've been able to volunteer and do a lot of programs that I didn't know of before, and really, I guess, kind of learn all the things that they don't take the time to teach you in class, all the stuff that they say you're going to pick up along the way, but being able to, I guess, kind of learn it in a more professional manner, I think, is really made me a lot more comfortable with taking those things on.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Next, Amber Smith, would you like to tell us about what you think of AHEC Scholars?
Sure. So I didn't mention earlier, but I am in my first year of the Family Nurse Practitioner program at UMKC. So this is my first year in the AHEC Scholars program. I only have 2 years because I'm in the certificate program because I already have a master's degree. So I kind of came upon AHEC Scholars by chance. I was talking to Janice about setting up some clinical rotations, and we just kind of talked a little bit about life experience and things like that. And she told me about the program. So that's how I came into it. I really enjoyed just supplementing my education with the resources that they offer to us. I think it was easy for me with having the Canvas set up because it's similar to what we use at school. So it's been very flexible for me. I'm a single mom. I work 2 jobs. I've got foster kids. Like, I've got a lot going on. So at first I thought, oh my goodness, this is just never going to work. But it's really been awesome. And I love going to do the experiential activities with the other interprofessional collaborations we have and just meeting other students. So again, I'm still pretty new into the program, but so far I've really enjoyed it and trying to get some more students. I feel like it's really given me an edge compared to some of my other students in the program.
Thank you, Amber. And last, we have Brianna McCohen.
Hello, guys. Just as Amber and Stephen both mentioned, I think the program has been great for networking. So far, I'm thinking my 5th year as a nurse, and they don't really stress the importance of working as an interdisciplinary team. Like in undergrad, they kind of, you teach the basics, but learning those skills of figuring out how you work together is really, really important. Straight out of nursing school, I went into working in the NICU, and you literally, as a NICU nurse, you work with all professions. You work with pharmacy, you work with lab, you work with PT, OT. And so being able to see how the bigger picture kind of all rolls out and how that impacts the patient care, I think is very important. And then also my, I would say just being able to have these different experiences, the things that we're touching on, the core topics such as the behavioral health, the cultural competency, have also been very important. I can say from my own personal experience as a nurse how being able to take that knowledge and apply it to real world settings is very important. I could go on and on about different experiences that I've had, such as working with a Spanish speaking family and being able to meet their needs, not only from language, but just like the different social economic status of all my patients and cultural respect, and just different key things that we've talked about in this program that I've been able to apply or have applied in the past to my patients. And so it's really important, and I really just love that aspect, that it kind of takes you into looking at the bigger picture and how all that can impact your patient. And I'm really grateful, because I don't think in my past experience with school, we didn't get that chance, that opportunity to really hone in on all those things. And yes, it's something that you learn over time, but having, as Stephen said, having a professional setting where you learn these things and can talk about them and network with other team members, I think has just been great. So overall, my experience has been amazing. So yeah.
Thank you, Brianna. And thank you to the entire panel. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this and give us your honest feedback. Now I'd like to open it up for questions from anyone. I do have a question for the panel. Oh, Megan, I don't mean to go. I see you popped on. Please, you go first.
I'm not real familiar with the program, but I was looking at your website. How do they complete the 40 hours of your core subjects? Because, you know, as a PA, we're pretty much in school 8 to 5 every day. So how does that kind of work?
It's all online. So we have our curricula set up in Canvas in different modules based on our 6 core topics. And then they are able to watch videos online. They write reflections based on certain articles or videos that they've watched and submit the written reflections on Canvas. Or they do quizzes as well online for the different modules, but everything all through Canvas. We try to make it, as straightforward as possible. They can pick which module they want to start with. They don't have to go in any particular order. Except, year ones, they do all the year ones, and second year, they'll do their second year requirements. We also give them a little bit of freedom to choose some of their assignments or their didactic requirements by the elective assignments. So we have like a list of enrichment resources that they can work through, even including movies. So I've had students who have watched Contagion and Outbreak, and they've been able to count those as elective didactics. So there's 4 hours of elective didactics for year 1 and 8 hours of elective didactics for year 2. But again, it's all online. So especially for right now, for the way things are with the pandemic and people still sheltering in place or not wanting to go out, especially in crowds, I think it's worked well. Students are still able to complete this program. We're also making certain exceptions for our experiential requirements because of what is happening currently. Did that answer your question, Megan?
It does. I had another question. So you place them in clinical rotations, is that right?
No, not necessarily. We are happy to assist with finding a clinical rotation because, we are a network throughout the state of Missouri. We do have a lot of local contacts and are happy to find placements for students. But a lot of times, students will have that set up through their school as well. So what's great is many times the clinical rotation students can use to count as their experiential requirements.
Okay. And then is there any kind of job placement, or do you just assist them with that also in rural areas?
Yep, we try to, if there is a pipeline, we can help assist them through that. So at the, since they're completing AHEC Scholars along with their program completion or graduation, if they are wanting to help with finding a job, we send out our feelers and connect with all of our contacts and help as much as we possibly can with that.
Jennifer, I was going to say also that if there's any class they take outside of their core classes for their program, that class, there's a form they can file and that can count as their experiential hours as well. So I know I have a student who is in pharmaceutical or pharmacology, and she took an extra class on, I think, diabetes or geriatrics, one of those that was above and beyond what was required. So then that will count also in her experiential. And there's no, back to the classes, your first question, there are no, you don't have to complete like 10 hours a week. It's up to the students. And I know several of the students I had said, I'm going to do, after my finals in December, I'm going to, spend like 3 days doing didactics so I can get a lot of hours in. I don't know that actually happened, but that was the plan. So some of them have tried to do so many a week, and then some of them kind of bank it and do it on weekends or whatever works for them. But there is no requirement of they have to spend like 20 hours a week doing this. So it's fluid.
Great distinction. Thank you very much, Susan. I saw a question from Jess asking, from Jess Wallace, do you need to be 2 years from graduation? As a P2 in pharmacy school, would you be able to apply or wait until P3? And so there are 4 years in pharmacy school, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. And so to answer Jess's question, yes, you would need to wait to apply for whenever you are a P3. So that way you're completing AHEC Scholars alongside with completing your pharmacy program. I know that can be rather confusing, so thank you very much for asking. And I thank you very much for joining, Jess. I hope that you will apply once you are a P3. If you would like to join a mailing list for your region, though, maybe there's some certain activities that you can still take part in, even now before you apply to be an AHEC Scholar. We'd love to send you some early on opportunities and stay connected with you until you do apply. I have a question for the panel. So I'm just curious, how has AHEC Scholars fit in with your health profession program? Has it been difficult to meet the requirements? Have the AHEC Scholars requirements seemed a bit daunting, or has anything sort of coincided with your health profession program as well? Like, oh, we learned about social determinants of health in this class, and then I was also doing that module with AHEC Scholars at the same time. Has anything like that happened with you?
I feel like it's something that I encounter often during our coursework. Just kind of throughout the lectures, they kind of touch on different core concepts that AHEC really strives for, especially behavioral integration, things like social determinants of health, and especially interprofessional collaboration. I kind of started AHEC right before going out on my first clinical. Working in a hospital, I was able to really see how what good interprofessional collaboration looks like and what bad collaboration looks like, and really seeing how that can impact the patient and really the entire healthcare team. It's, again, just things that they always say you're going to pick up along the way, but to be able to understand its importance and maybe learn the components of it beforehand, I think had a huge impact for me.
I would agree with Stephen. I think a lot of it kind of coincides with some of the things that we're doing in our coursework, but it enhances it and expands a lot more on it than just that basic information that we're given, you know, just the brief information that they want to give us in class. Our coursework with AHEC definitely expands on that. So I would agree. I think the behavioral health part has been really huge. Social determinants of health has been really huge for me. And a lot of that I think is based on just where we live. I live in St. Joseph, which is kind of suburban, but we do have, you know, a huge need for mental health care here. We have what they would call, and I think I'm going to use the wrong terminology, but like a food desert where people can't get to a grocery store and things like that. So I think it's been really good just to see my own community in a different way and to prepare for that when I'm a provider.
I agree with what was already said too. I think some of the stuff that we've mentioned, or have talked about, has just been expanded on as far as in the program, which is what I've really liked. And maybe I'm just not far enough into my program yet, and maybe we just haven't touched on yet to see if they're going to expand on it more. But what I've really liked is like how we've really talked, had multiple different sessions on the integration of behavioral health and seeing what a healthcare model could look like if we had like it all together. And so it's especially with like the being like a one-stop shop with your healthcare, it's like going in and you see multiple different specialties. So being exposed to that was great as well.
Thank you, panel. I appreciate your answers.
Hi, I have a question for the panel. I'm Janice in Northwest Missouri, and for those students who cannot use their clinical hours for their experientials, I'd like to hear what you all have done at your sites for experientials over the last year.
Well, I was actually, I had 45 hours of clinical experience that I actually wasn't able to use because it wasn't a underserved area, which was fine. But what I did end up doing was being able to use my work site for some of my hours, because in the position that I work now, I do work with in the interdisciplinary, so multiple, with the pharmacy, with labs, with physician. And so being able to show that you're working all together in that role. And then also the population that I work with is underserved as well. And it's a high needs area. So I was able to luckily be able to use my work hours as well for that.
It was the same for me as Brianna. I have done some experiential activities, but I did have some clinicals also, but I was able to use my work. I'm employed as a school nurse in a middle school. And so we have like a 70% population of free and reduced lunch. And so very transient, a lot of moving between schools and things like that. So I was able to use some of my work hours as clinical experience. And they do a really great job in Northwest Missouri of offering all kinds of things. I don't get to go to a lot of them, but I know I have done the poverty simulation in my employment, but I know they do that, which is a really great one. If you guys haven't done that, I would highly recommend that. And then, you know, they offer a lot of online things that we can do. So there's no shortage of opportunities for us.
Yeah, Amber had a really good point. There's definitely no shortage of opportunities. I've done I think it was the poverty simulation. We even had our kind of statewide event was supposed to be in Columbia, but we transitioned it to online. I was able to attend that. I'm actually working on maybe for this last clinical, hopefully getting that set up to where I can get experiential hours, but there are definitely a lot of good, even volunteer opportunities to get those. So there's a wide range.
some of the things that we've done in Northwest Missouri that Amber, I can't remember if you went to our fall case study. I thought you did. So we gather about 25, 30 students for an evening. We feed them dinner, and one of our physicians facilitates a case study. And so the students are able to learn through interdisciplinary experiences that way. Another thing that we did through our AHEC, and Savannah can chime in if she'd like, since she's our expert, but she coordinated the students to go to an international fair at our university that's in our town. And then she also coordinated a homeless walk that the students could participate in which an FQHC in St. Joe had this as a fundraiser, and the students and whoever else was participating would walk through downtown to visit the different resources that were available for the homeless, because we happen to have an FQHC also downtown that primarily serves the homeless. Savannah, is there anything else you want to mention from our AHEC?
Hello. I think you covered it pretty well. I think probably one of the easiest ways to get experiential hours is going to be through clinical rotations, just because most health profession students do clinical rotations to some extent. And just another note on the clinical rotations, MAHEC doesn't have to be the person who schedules your rotations in order for them to count as experiential. As long as they follow HRSA's guidelines for rural or underserved, it should be fine.
Any other questions? Okay, well, I can give you all 23 minutes back of your day. Thank you all so much for attending. Appreciate your time, and especially the panel, appreciate your thoughts and your honest feedback. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and feel free to contact myself or anyone else if you do have any other questions. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye.